In the vast expanse of the Milky Way, where countless species competed for resources and territory, the hunters were considered the most fearsome predators. These tall, muscular beings had evolved on a harsh world where only the strongest survived. Their bodies were covered in natural armor like plates, and their 4 eyes could see in multiple light spectrums. For millennia, they had dominated the galactic hunting grounds, challenging and defeating every species they encountered. Captain Rox stood at the helm of his hunting vessel, the Star Talon, reviewing the latest discovery by his scout ships. His crew had found a previously unknown world in what they considered a backwater sector of the galaxy. The planet, designated as Earth by its inhabitants, seemed unremarkable at first glance, mostly water, with moderate gravity and atmospheric conditions. What makes this world worthy of our attention? Rox asked his chief scout, Kel, who was practically vibrating with excitement. Kel pulled up a holographic display showing various Earth creatures. Sir, this planet is unique. It has evolved what they call apex predators in nearly every environment. But what's truly remarkable is its dominant species. They call themselves humans. The display shifted to show humans in various settings. Rox's upper eyes narrowed in confusion. These creatures? They look soft. No natural weapons, no armor, not even basic environmental protection. Are you certain they're the dominant species? That's what makes them fascinating, sir, Kel replied, adjusting the display to show historical footage. These humans didn't become dominant through natural evolution alone. They became apex predators through something they call persistence hunting. The footage showed early humans pursuing large prey animals across vast distances. The animals would run, but the humans would keep following, walking steadily, tracking their prey until it collapsed from exhaustion. Interesting technique, Rox admitted, but surely that's not enough to. There's more, Kel interrupted, his excitement overwhelming proper protocol. They developed tools, weapons, and complex hunting strategies. They can survive in nearly any environment on their planet. Desert, tundra, mountains, forests, they've conquered them all. And they don't just hunt for food, they hunt for sport, for science, for knowledge. Rox's interest was genuinely piqued now. In all his years leading hunting expeditions, he'd never encountered a species quite like this. Most evolved to be either predator or prey, but these humans seem to have transcended that simple dichotomy. What's their technological level? Rox asked, already considering the possibilities. Early space age, Kel reported. They've reached their moon, sent primitive probes throughout their solar system, and are beginning to develop more advanced propulsion systems. But here's the truly remarkable part, they've achieved this level of technology in just a few thousand years. Most species take hundreds of thousands of years to progress that far. Rox began pacing, a habit he'd developed when planning complex hunts. Have they detected us? No, sir. We've maintained our stealth protocols. They're still debating whether intelligent alien life exists. A slow, predatory smile spread across Rox's face, revealing rows of sharp teeth. Then we have an opportunity here. These humans sound like worthy prey. If they're truly as adaptable and cunning as you suggest, they might provide us with the challenge we've been seeking. Kel shifted uncomfortably. Sir, with all due respect, our initial observations suggest we should be cautious. These humans have a history of turning the tables on predators that threaten them. They've driven numerous species on their own world to extinction, not through superior strength or speed, but through strategy and persistence. All the better, Rox declared. A hunt without risk is hardly worth undertaking. Prepare a detailed analysis of their defensive capabilities and hunting patterns. We'll start with a small probe, capture a few specimens from different regions, test their capabilities, learn their weaknesses. Yes, sir, Kel acknowledged, though his tone carried a note of concern. I'll have the report ready within one planetary rotation. As Kel left the bridge, Rox turned back to the holographic display, studying the images of humans going about their daily lives. They seemed so vulnerable, so unimposing. Yet something about them made his hunting instincts tingle with both excitement and caution. "Computer, begin recording," Rox commanded. Hunter's log, date 7249, we have discovered a potentially exceptional prey species. Initial assessment suggests they may be more than they appear. These humans have dominated their world not through superior physical attributes, but through intelligence, tool use, and what appears to be extraordinary determination. We will proceed with caution, but I suspect this hunt may prove to be the most interesting of my career. Little did Rox know that his assessment of humans as interesting prey would prove to be one of the greatest underestimations in galactic history. The hunters were about to learn why humans had become the apex predators of Earth, and why challenging humanity might be the last mistake his species would ever make. 2 weeks after discovering Earth, the star Talon hovered silently above a remote forest in the northern region of the continent humans called North America. Captain Rox had chosen this location for their first specimen collection, far from major population centers, with plenty of cover for their operations. Target acquired, the hunting team's leader, Mark, reported through the ship's communication system. Male human, alone, carrying primitive projectile weapons. He appears to be engaging in recreational hunting. Rox watched through the team's shared visual feed. The human was moving through the forest with surprising stealth, wearing camouflaged clothing and carrying what their database identified as a hunting rifle. This would be a perfect test subject, someone already familiar with hunting practices. "Proceed with capture," Rox ordered. "Remember, minimal damage. We want to study their capabilities." 3 hunters, each standing over 8 feet tall and equipped with advanced stealth technology, moved into position around the human. Their plan was simple: quick incapacitation using their neural stunners, followed by immediate transport to the containment facility aboard the Star Talon. But things didn't go as planned. The human stopped suddenly, his head tilting slightly. He shifted his rifle into a ready position and slowly turned in a circle. Somehow, despite their stealth technology, he had sensed something was wrong. "Impossible," Mark whispered. "Our systems are operating perfectly. He shouldn't be able to detect us." The human reached into his pocket and pulled out a small device. The hunter's tactical displays identified it as a basic thermal imaging camera. It wasn't sophisticated by their standards, but it was enough to detect the slight heat signatures their stealth suits couldn't completely mask. "Fall back," Mark ordered, but it was too late. The human had spotted one of the hunters. Instead of panicking, as their psychological profiles had predicted, he dropped to one knee and fired his rifle in one smooth motion. The bullet, a simple copper-jacketed lead projectile, struck the hunter's stealth field. While it couldn't penetrate their advanced armor, the impact disrupted the stealth system. "Fascinating," Rox muttered, watching from the ship. He identified a threat and responded with remarkable speed and precision. The human was already moving, using the terrain for cover as he retreated. He fired 2 more shots, not at the hunters themselves, but at the trees near them. The bullet splintered the bark, creating a visible reference point for where the nearly invisible hunters stood. "He's marking their positions," Rox realized, his respect for their prey growing. Clever. The hunting team, now exposed, launched their neural stunners. But the human's erratic movement pattern made him a difficult target. He rolled behind a fallen tree, pulled out a small communication device, and began speaking rapidly into it. "Sir," Kel reported from his monitoring station, "the human is transmitting his location and a description of our hunters to local authorities. He's using terms like experimental active camouflage and possible military testing. He's creating a plausible explanation for what he's seeing while ensuring others will come to investigate." Rox's upper eyes widened in surprise. This simple hunting human had not only detected their presence and fought back effectively but was also thinking several steps ahead, ensuring that his encounter wouldn't be dismissed as imagination. "Abort the mission," Rox ordered. "Return to the ship immediately." The hunters retreated, leaving the human behind. As they watched, more humans began arriving in various vehicles. Some wore uniforms and carried weapons, while others operated sophisticated scanning equipment. "Sir," Kel said, reviewing the incoming data, "this encounter has triggered multiple response protocols among the humans. Military units are being quietly mobilized, surveillance satellites are being repositioned, and scientific organizations are deploying specialized detection equipment to the area." Rox stared at the growing activity below, his earlier confidence replaced by a dawning concern. All this from one brief encounter with a single human? "Yes, sir. And there's more. The human we encountered, I've accessed their information networks. He's what they call a retired military scout. While he appeared to be engaging in recreational hunting, his skills and training made him a far more formidable opponent than we anticipated." "How many humans have similar training?" Rox asked. "Millions, sir. And they maintain these skills even after leaving their military services. Many civilians also train in various combat and survival techniques simply for recreation." Rox paced the bridge, his claws clicking against the metallic floor. "We need to reassess our approach. These humans are far more dangerous than initial reports suggested. Their ability to adapt and respond to unknown threats, their technological innovation, their coordination, they're not just prey species that learn to hunt. They're true predators who have mastered both the physical and mental aspects of hunting." "Should we abort the mission entirely?" Kel asked. "No," Rox decided. "But we need to be much more careful. No more direct capture attempts. We need to observe them more thoroughly, understand their full capabilities. Something tells me we've only scratched the surface of what these humans can do." As the star Talon moved away from Earth's atmosphere, Rox added a new entry to his hunter's log: "Update to previous assessment. Humans demonstrate extraordinary situational awareness, tactical thinking, and response coordination. Their technological level, while behind ours, is advancing rapidly and being used in innovative ways. Most concerning is their ability to adapt to and counter unknown threats with minimal preparation. Recommendation: classify humans as Category 1 dangerous prey, approach with extreme caution." Little did Rox know that this encounter had already set in motion a chain of events that would forever change the balance of power in the galaxy. The humans weren't just aware of them now, they were preparing. 3 months after the failed capture attempt, Earth had changed. While most of the general public remained unaware of the alien presence, the world's military and scientific communities had mobilized with remarkable efficiency. The encounter in the forest had provided them with crucial data about their mysterious observers. In a secure underground facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, General Mike Porter studied the latest satellite data. His weathered face showed no emotion as he reviewed the thermal imaging patterns that his teams had finally managed to isolate, patterns that revealed the presence of cloaked alien vessels in Earth's orbit. "How many ships have we identified?" he asked the young scientist working beside him. 7 confirmed vessels, sir," Dr. Tom Reed replied, adjusting his glasses. "They're using some kind of advanced stealth technology, but they didn't account for our new quantum detection array. They might be invisible to conventional sensors, but they can't hide their gravitational footprint." The general nodded. What had started as a single hunter's encounter had led to the rapid development of new detection technologies. Humanity, true to form, had taken an apparent disadvantage and turned it into an opportunity for advancement. Meanwhile, aboard the Star Talon, Captain Rox was growing increasingly frustrated. "How are they detecting us?" he demanded, staring at the display showing Earth's rapidly evolving defense systems. "Sir," Kel reported, "the humans have developed new detection methods we've never encountered before. They're not just looking for our ships, they're looking for any anomaly that might reveal our presence. Heat signatures, gravitational disturbances, atmospheric perturbations, they're using everything at their disposal. And they developed these systems in just 3 months? Yes, sir. Their rate of technological advancement is unprecedented. They're not just adapting our technology, they're creating entirely new approaches we never considered. A warning alarm suddenly blared through the ship. Multiple launches detected from the planet's surface, the tactical officer shouted. Defensive measures. Rox ordered, but what happened next left him speechless. The launches weren't weapons, they were probes. Hundreds of them, using a primitive but effective propulsion system. They moved in seemingly random patterns, releasing clouds of metallic particles and electromagnetic pulses. To most species, it would have appeared chaotic and primitive. But Rox realized the truth too late. It's a net, he whispered. They're creating a detection grid. The metallic particles stuck to their ship's stealth fields, making them visible to even basic radar. The electromagnetic pulses revealed the edges of their cloaking technology. In less than an hour, humans had mapped the location of every hunting vessel in Earth's orbit. Sir, Kell reported, his voice tight with concern, we're detecting massive energy buildups at multiple points on the planet's surface. They've developed some kind of weapon system based on their observations of our stealth technology. Rox stared at the tactical display in disbelief. The humans hadn't just developed countermeasures, they had weaponized their understanding of alien technology. They weren't behaving like prey at all. They were hunting the hunters. All vessels, emergency retreat, Rox ordered. Clear the system immediately. But before they could activate their faster-than-light drives, several ships reported system malfunctions. The humans had somehow used their primitive electromagnetic pulses to interfere with their advanced technology. Impossible, Rox muttered. Their technology is centuries behind ours. Sir, Kell interjected, I don't think technological advancement is their primary advantage. Look at this. The display showed human military vessels moving into position around the globe. They weren't using advanced alien technology, they were using their existing weapons in innovative ways. They had analyzed the hunters' capabilities, found weaknesses, and developed counters using tools they already possessed. Their strength isn't their technology, Kell explained. It's their ability to adapt and improvise. They don't need to match our technological level, they just need to understand how our technology works and find ways to counter it with what they have. As if to prove his point, another alarm sounded. Earth's military forces had launched a coordinated operation. They weren't trying to destroy the hunting vessels, they were hurting them, using their newfound understanding of alien stealth technology to force the ships into predetermined areas. They're not just defending, Rox realized. They're controlling the battlefield. They've turned our own hunting tactics against us. The final blow came when human communications suddenly breached their encryption. A clear message played through the ship's speakers, attention alien vessels. You have entered restricted space and engaged in hostile actions against Earth. We have mapped your positions, developed countermeasures for your technology, and are prepared to disable your vessels if necessary. You have 1 hour to retreat beyond the orbit of Saturn. Any vessels remaining after this deadline will be considered hostile and dealt with accordingly. The message repeated in various formats, demonstrating that humans had not only cracked their communication systems but had also deciphered multiple alien languages. Rox looked at his tactical display, watching as human forces continued to maneuver with precision and purpose. In just 3 months, they had gone from being unaware of alien life to effectively countering one of the galaxy's most advanced hunting species. Send the retreat signal, Rox ordered. All vessels are to withdraw immediately. He added a final note to his hunter's log, humans are not prey. They are apex predators who have mastered the art of turning any advantage against their opponents. They don't just adapt to threats, they evolve beyond them. Recommendation: mark Earth as absolutely forbidden for hunting. These humans don't just hunt for survival or sport, they hunt for knowledge, for advancement, and most dangerously, for victory at any cost. As the star Talon retreated from Earth's solar system, Rox couldn't shake the feeling that they hadn't just failed in their hunt, they had awakened something far more dangerous than any predator they had ever encountered. Humanity now knew they weren't alone in the galaxy, and they had proven themselves more than capable of defending their territory. The hunters had become the hunted, and the galaxy would never be the same. 6 months after the hunters' retreat, Earth's technological advancement had accelerated at an unprecedented rate. The remnants of alien technology from their brief encounter had provided humanity with new insights into space travel, energy manipulation, and defensive systems. But more importantly, it had given them a purpose. In a classified facility beneath the Pacific Ocean, Admiral Jack Wilson watched as engineers reverse-engineered components from a damaged hunter probe they'd managed to capture. The room hummed with activity as scientists and military personnel worked together with singular focus. "Status report," the Admiral commanded. Dr. Beth Miller, head of the reverse engineering project, stepped forward. Her eyes showed the exhaustion of countless sleepless nights, but her voice remained steady. "We've cracked their faster-than-light drive principles, sir. But we've done more than just copy it, we've improved it." Improved alien technology? Wilson raised an eyebrow. "Explain." "Their design focuses on raw power, brute-forcing their way through spacetime. We've developed a more efficient approach based on our understanding of quantum mechanics. Less energy consumption, faster travel speed, and most importantly, no detectable energy signature." Meanwhile, deep in interstellar space, Captain Rox faced the Hunters' High Council. The massive chamber, carved from the bones of ancient space beasts, was filled with the most powerful members of their species. "You retreated from primitive prey?" High Hunter Gax's voice boomed through the chamber. "This is unprecedented." Rox stood his ground. "They are not primitive, Honored One. These humans, they're different. In all our history, we've never encountered a species that could adapt so quickly." "Nonsense," another council member interrupted. "They barely have space flight. Their weapons are crude. Their bodies are weak." "With all due respect," Rox countered, "that's exactly what makes them dangerous. They know their physical limitations, so they compensate with intelligence and innovation. They don't try to overpower their opponents, they outthink them." Before the council could respond, a junior hunter burst into the chamber. "Emergency alert. We've lost contact with 3 hunting outposts near the human system." The chamber erupted in chaos. The outposts were some of their most fortified positions, used to stage hunting expeditions across that sector of space. Each was protected by advanced stealth systems and defensive arrays. "Impossible," Gax declared. "No force could take 3 outposts without raising an alarm." Data streams began flowing across the chamber's holographic displays. The outposts hadn't been destroyed, they'd been infiltrated. Security systems were disabled with surgical precision. Hunters found themselves locked in their own containment cells. And most disturbing of all, their databases had been completely copied. "Show me the intruders," Gax demanded. The security footage revealed figures in sleek environmental suits, moving with practiced efficiency. Their technology seemed to be a hybrid of hunter tech and human innovation. They didn't fight like hunters, who relied on superior strength and advanced weapons. Instead, they moved like ghosts, using stealth and tactics that even the hunters' advanced security systems couldn't counter. "Humans," Rox whispered. "They followed us home." "But how?" a council member demanded. "They couldn't have developed space travel so quickly." "They didn't need to," Rox realized. "They used our own ships against us. Remember the metallic particles they sprayed during our retreat? They weren't just for detection, they were markers. Microscopic tracking devices that let them follow our faster-than-light signatures. The implications hit the Council like a physical blow. The humans hadn't just defended their world, they had used the Hunters' attack as an opportunity to gather intelligence, track their movements, and launch a counteroffensive. Another alert sounded. This time, it was a direct transmission to the Council chamber. The holographic display showed a human in a military uniform, Admiral Wilson himself. "Greetings, Hunters High Council." Wilson's voice was calm but carried an unmistakable edge. "By now you've realized we've compromised several of your outposts. Consider this a demonstration of our capabilities and a warning. You dare threaten the mighty Hunters?" Gax rose from his throne, towering in rage. "This isn't a threat," Wilson replied. "It's a statement of fact. You came to our world as predators, seeing us as prey. That was your first mistake. Your second was leaving us with samples of your technology. Your third was assuming we would wait for you to return." The Admiral's image was replaced by footage from Earth's rapidly expanding space fleet. Ships of human design incorporating Hunter technology, but modified and improved in ways the Hunters had never considered. "We are giving you one chance," Wilson continued. "Recognize Earth and all human-controlled space as strictly forbidden territory. Any further incursion will be met with immediate and decisive action. We've already demonstrated our ability to bypass your best defenses." The Council chamber fell silent. For the first time in their species' history, the Hunters found themselves in the position of prey, facing a predator that had studied them, learned their weaknesses, and developed specific countermeasures to their strengths. "How do we know you won't use this capability to hunt us?" Gax demanded. Wilson's response was cold. "Unlike you, we don't hunt for sport. We hunt for survival and security. Leave us in peace, and you'll have peace. Threaten us again, and you'll learn firsthand why humans are the apex predators of our world." The transmission ended, leaving the Hunters' Council in stunned silence. They had prided themselves on being the galaxy's ultimate hunters, only to be outmaneuvered by a species they had dismissed as primitive prey. Rox stepped forward. "Honored Council, I recommend we accept their terms. These humans, they don't just hunt with their bodies or their weapons. They hunt with their minds. They turn their opponent's strengths into weaknesses. And most dangerously, they never stop improving, never stop adapting." As the Council debated their response, one thing became clear: the galaxy's balance of power had shifted. The Hunters had sought worthy prey and instead found something far more dangerous, a species that had turned the entire concept of predator and prey on its head. 1 year after humanity's demonstration of power at the Hunters' High Council, the galaxy had changed dramatically. The story of how a primitive species had outmaneuvered the mighty Hunters spread through interstellar civilizations like wildfire. But the humans weren't finished surprising the galaxy. Captain Rox, now serving as Earth's primary diplomatic contact with the Hunters, stood on the observation deck of humanity's first diplomatic space station. The massive structure hung in neutral space between Earth and Hunter territory, its design a perfect blend of human innovation and alien technology. "Your people continue to surprise us," Rox said to Admiral Wilson, who stood beside him watching ships from various species dock at the station. "When you had the advantage, we expected you to press it, to try to conquer or subjugate our species. That's what Hunters would have done." Wilson smiled slightly. "That's because you still don't fully understand humans, Captain. We're predators, yes, but we're also builders, explorers, and problem solvers. Why waste resources on conquest when we can build something better together?" The station they stood in was proof of this philosophy. After demonstrating their military capabilities, humans had shocked the galactic community by proposing the creation of a neutral space station, a place where different species could meet, trade, and learn from each other. "Besides," Wilson continued, "we learned something interesting from studying your records. Your species isn't the only one that saw us as potential prey. You were just the first to act on it. Rox's 4 eyes blinked in surprise. You knew about the others? Of course. Once we cracked your database encryption, we found records of multiple species monitoring Earth. Each waiting, watching, considering us as possible targets. Wilson turned to face the hunter captain. So we decided to change the game entirely. On cue, a holographic display activated, showing the station's central chamber. Representatives from 20 different spacefaring races sat around a circular table, engaging in what humans had termed the Galactic Security Council. You turned potential predators into allies, Rox realized. By demonstrating your capabilities against us, you showed them the benefits of cooperation over conflict. Exactly, Wilson nodded. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our ability to fight, it's our ability to adapt and innovate. We looked at the galaxy and saw an opportunity to create something new. A system where species work together instead of preying on each other. The display showed various collaborative projects, joint scientific ventures, shared defense initiatives, and cultural exchange programs. Humans had taken their understanding of hunter technology and freely shared their improvements with other races, but always with one condition: acceptance of the new galactic laws protecting developing civilizations. Your people have achieved more in 1 year than most species do in centuries, Rox observed. You've completely reshaped galactic society. Because we understand something fundamental about being apex predators, Wilson explained. True strength isn't about dominating others, it's about creating systems that benefit everyone. On Earth, the most successful species aren't always the strongest or most aggressive, but those that can adapt and cooperate. A group of young hunters passed by, part of the first cultural exchange program with Earth. They were learning human martial arts, not for hunting, but for discipline and self-improvement. Meanwhile, human scientists worked alongside hunter engineers, combining their different perspectives to solve problems neither species could tackle alone. You know what the most ironic part is? Wilson asked, watching the interaction. Your attack on Earth might have been the best thing that could have happened to the galaxy. It forced us to advance quickly, but it also showed us what was possible. We could have become the very thing we defeated, galaxy-spanning conquerors. Instead, we chose to become something better. Rox nodded thoughtfully. Teachers. Mediators. Protectors. Guardians, Wilson corrected. We still maintain our military capability, we're not naive. But we use that strength to protect younger civilizations, to maintain peace, to ensure that what happened to us doesn't happen to others. The station's warning system suddenly activated, but it wasn't an alert, it was a celebration. Another species had just made first contact with humanity's deep space explorers. Unlike the old days, they wouldn't face uncertainty and potential predation. They would be welcomed into a galactic community that valued cooperation over conquest. You humans truly are the ultimate apex predators, Rox said finally. Not because you're the strongest or most aggressive, but because you've transcended the very concept of predator and prey. You've created a new way of existence. Wilson smiled. That's the thing about humans, Captain. We're never satisfied with just surviving or dominating. We always ask, what's next? How can we make things better? When you first came to Earth, you saw us as primitive prey. But we showed you something unprecedented, a species that could not only fight back but could transform an entire galaxy's way of thinking. As they watched the continuing proceedings of the Galactic Security Council, both human and hunter reflected on how far things had come. The hunters had sought to prove their dominance and instead discovered a truth about the nature of true strength. Humans had faced their first alien contact as potential prey and emerged as the architects of a new galactic order. The old hunting grounds are gone, Rox mused. Replaced by something far more interesting. Not gone, Wilson corrected. Evolved. Just like us. The only question is, what will we hunt next? Rox looked at him questioningly. Knowledge. Understanding. Progress. Wilson gestured to the stars visible through the station's windows. Those are the prey we truly seek. And out there, the hunt is just beginning. The galaxy had indeed changed. The era of predator and prey was over, replaced by an age of cooperation and advancement. And at its heart were the humans, the species that had proven themselves to be the ultimate apex predators not through force of arms, but through the power of adaptation, innovation, and the ability to turn enemies into allies. The hunt had become a journey, and the entire galaxy was better for it.